So here's my thing, Ray. How can you and Cam come to a common ground? Because I mean, at one point, man, y'all was real close, man. And yeah, this is sad, man. I mean, and from what I'm hearing from you, I don't think it's anything that y'all can't overcome. I mean, so
Well, I've always said he just has to have a conversation with me. But now that the thing with my son, I don't know. I think he could send some money over, you know. But other than that, I think he said too much. He got on the radio and said too much. Got on TV and said too much. Talked, with my family and all that, my personal business. He's talked about my girl. He's talked about my children. Like, I'm not all right with that. I don't play those ghetto games. So, I'm not all right with that. I've already erased him in my memory. He's Fredo to me. It's hard to see him any other way. He's not making it any easier it's like the corniness is like having a snowball effect. It's like when people, I don't know, man. When we like get to a place where I can't call you and tease you, people start doing some real clown shit. Like, I mean, I could get paid to be a clown. That's easy. People would love to see me out of pocket and up under this and doing what I'm told, you know? But it's just not me. I
Dame
just
Dash
rather.
is basically saying that some situations go past regular disagreement and enter a place where respect is permanently damaged. In a lot of relationships, especially between men who built history together, there's usually room to argue, separate for a while, and eventually reconnect. But once somebody feels publicly embarrassed, betrayed, or disrespected beyond a certain point, the relationship can become impossible to repair. That's what people mean when they say somebody crossed the line. A lot of friendships don't end because of one simple misunderstanding. Most real friendships can survive confusion, disagreements, ego clashes, and even temporary fallouts. What usually destroys the relationship is when somebody decides to escalate the situation too far. Once pride, humiliation, and public disrespect enter the equation, people stop looking at the issue itself and start looking at the principle behind it. Now, it's no longer about what happened. It's about how far somebody was willing to go. That's why people always say you have to know when to stop. Every disagreement does not need to become a war. Sometimes people are emotional, frustrated, or speaking out of anger, but there's still an invisible boundary that protects the relationship. Once that boundary is crossed, things change forever. Somebody may forgive you mentally, but they may never trust you the same again. They may never feel comfortable around you again, and sometimes the damage becomes too public to even repair privately. That's one thing social media has made worse. Back in the day, two people could have tension behind closed doors, argue it out, calm down, and move forward. Today, everything becomes content. People start performing for the internet instead of solving problems. The cameras reward drama, embarrassment, and disrespect because controversy gets views. But the internet doesn't have to live with the consequences afterward. The people involved do. A simple disagreement can turn into years of bitterness once people start exposing personal information, attacking character, speaking on family, or trying to humiliate each other publicly. Once somebody feels like you intentionally tried to damage their image, the relationship starts entering dangerous territory. Even if the original issue was small, the response becomes bigger than the problem itself. That's why restraint is important. A lot of people think strength means always going further than the next person. In reality, maturity is knowing where the line is and refusing to cross it, even when you're angry. Anybody can lose control emotionally. Anybody can say something reckless in the moment, but disciplined people understand that temporary anger can create permanent consequences. Sometimes the smartest thing a person can do is leave a situation alone before it reaches the point of no return. Not every misunderstanding deserves total destruction. A person may have disappointed you, offended you, or frustrated you, but if there's still history, loyalty, or mutual respect involved, you have to think long-term before turning the situation into something irreversible. Because once somebody feels deeply betrayed, they stop viewing you as somebody they had issues with and start viewing you as an enemy. That's when communication disappears. Pride takes over. People stop trying to understand each other and start trying to hurt each other. At that point, Even if reconciliation becomes possible years later, things usually never return to how they originally were. Another thing people have to understand is that emotions are temporary, but reputation can last forever. One moment of going too far can permanently stain how somebody views you. And the scary part is sometimes people don't realize they crossed the line until it's too late. They think they're just responding emotionally, but the other person interprets it as betrayal, disrespect, or disloyalty. This applies to friendships, business relationships, family situations, and even romantic relationships. Most bonds are built on a certain level of unspoken respect. Once that respect disappears, the foundation starts collapsing. You can disagree with somebody without destroying them. You can separate from somebody without humiliating them. And sometimes preserving a little dignity during conflict is what leaves the door open for peace later on. A lot of broken relationships could have been saved if both sides understood emotional control. Not every response needs to be public. Not every disagreement needs an audience. Some things can still be handled through conversation, space, or mutual understanding before things spiral out of control. And that's the real lesson in situations like this. Crossing the line doesn't just hurt the moment, it destroys future possibilities. It can erase years of loyalty, memories, business, and friendship, all because somebody let emotion override judgment. Sometimes the strongest move is knowing when enough is enough before permanent damage is done. The consequence of taking things too far is isolation. People stop trusting you, doors close, relationships disappear, and even if success continues financially, the respect and brotherhood that once existed may never come back. The internet may celebrate the drama for a few days, but the people involved have to carry the fallout for years. The solution is emotional discipline, communication, and understanding boundaries. People have to learn how to disagree without trying to completely destroy each other. Pride makes people feel like they always have to win, but maturity teaches you that preserving relationships can sometimes be more valuable than winning an argument. Final thought: every relationship has a line that should never be crossed. As long as both people respect that line, most misunderstandings can eventually be repaired. But once somebody intentionally goes too far, trust starts dying. And when trust dies, rebuilding the relationship becomes one of the hardest things in the world.